I do get a lot of questions where people are not asking about radiological hazards from commercial electricity using nuclear energy, but rather about nuclear weapons. And that's a whole different animal. When you compare the production of weapons of mass destruction to commercial electricity, there are a lot of very extreme examples where you can say that the impact from commercial nuclear energy is, for all intents and purposes, negligible. When people want to oppose nuclear energy, a lot of times they'll refer to things that have occurred as a result of weapons of mass destruction. Examples would be the Hanford plant, making plutonium, Rocky Flats, or the Ruinant Islands from atmospheric weapons testing of thermonuclear weapons. There's an example right there. And as a general rule, they are more extreme. What's happened with production of weapons of mass destruction is generally a lot more impact to the environment, where you don't necessarily have measurable harm to life, but it's substantially more than what you've had from commercial nuclear energy production. I'll put here's a good reference right there that goes over the typical hype that you have that's involved with anti-nuclear rhetoric, and that applies to weapons of mass destruction if you're looking at environmental damage from the manufacturing. Now, it is generally far more extreme than what you get for commercial nuclear, but that doesn't mean that the terror and the fear that people have over commercial nuclear energy isn't also found there when it comes to weapons production facilities and what has occurred there. And so that would be my general response to those questions, is that there is already that bias, that anti-nuclear bias, that I typically find people that want to bring up those cases to oppose nuclear energy, commercial production of electricity using nuclear energy. Well, they'll say, well, look at the damage that's occurred from weapons of mass destruction, the production of those. And in most cases, it's going to be entirely innocuous. An example that look to the references is the uranium in the Columbia River that's been attributed to Hanford. Turns out that Hanford had put a little bit of uranium in there, but the overwhelming amount of the uranium was actually from fisheries, from having fisheries that were there, and the amount of feed that they were giving there in the fisheries is what caused the dominant amount. So it had nothing to do with nuclear energy, but because it was a radioisotope, it was blamed on weapons of mass destruction. And so there is a bias there that's real, that it's very difficult, I would say, for most people to assess radiological risk. And as a general rule, actually probably not even a general rule, probably a golden rule, don't believe any claims of radiological risk that don't come from an expert. It'd be like taking medical advice on a surgery from somebody that's not a licensed clinical provider. You don't take that kind of advice on things that aren't from somebody that's an expert. And I would say the same applies with radiological risk. Having done this for a long time, it's overwhelming how the anti-nuclear views that you get in social media, or people that aren't experts, are just entirely uninformed and not based on actual risk, but perceived risk. And so that would be my response. Hopefully that helps. So I hope that everybody learned something, enjoyed the video, and hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Bye.